Hello and welcome back. Happy New Year, everyone. I hope you had a good time despite the lack of fanfare this year. My husband and I just ended up watching movies on the couch. It was quiet but nice, and I hope you had a nice cozy time too. So as I'm filming this, it's actually the 1st of January, and I'm determined not to waste any time this year. And I'm gonna try to do some drawing every day, and maybe I'll even fill a sketchbook for once this year. I'm not really back into the groove of drawing yet. I'm still in a bit of a slump, but I'm pushing through it. And I wanted to play around a little bit with my new gouache palette setup. I've been spending a lot of time on Pinterest looking at textiles and textile patterns, and so with that in mind, I'm kind of sketching out a few textile inspired things, some sleeves and some patterns, not necessarily taking a direct reference. I do have some windows open with some reference that I'm jumping back and forth from, but I mean the first little drawing there is actually reference from cupcakes, so whatever works. And I'm just playing around in a really loose way. I'm not really doing like a tight pattern thing. It's more about like playing around with the colors a little bit. And in hindsight, I think I should have chosen palettes that I liked and worked from there, because I think that's what I was going after, and I didn't really achieve that, because I was thinking about it and not really directly planning the color, I guess. So I think I would try that again with specific colors and palettes in mind. I really love textile design or surface patterning, like wallpapers and beautiful patterns. It's something that I'd like to get better at. I recently learned how to do repeating patterns, and now I'm kind of psyched to build that skill a little bit more, make some more elaborate things. In the meantime, I was just playing around with little like sticker illustrations that I had made and just making patterns out of those things. But I'd like to learn to make more patterns that are made to be patterns, I guess, drawings that are made to be patterns, designs. I don't know what you call them. I guess it's a design thing. So the colors that I'm using in the palette are still moist because it's the next day and they haven't dried out yet. So for the most part, I didn't have to wet them very much. There was like 1 or 2 colors that were drying out already, and I guess they were drying out inside the container. And those ones I had to wet a bit more. And I am mixing with fresh white, so that helps to get it a little creamier. So I haven't really reached that true dry palette thing yet. I do have my palette open on my desk today, and it's drying out, and we'll see how that works as it gets crustier. Don't think I would choose to do a painting with a dry gouache palette. I think it's still better to use fresh gouache. But for sketchbooking, it's kind of handy to just have a bunch of colors that are kind of ready to go that you can just dip into and play around with without having to spend the time mixing. So, yeah, I think I'll use this more. I'm hoping I will. And I guess since I don't have to worry about it rotting, or I'll just keep an eye on it better this time. If you don't follow my videos, I did create a wet palette earlier, and it got moldy because it wasn't used very often. That is an issue with wet palettes. But yeah, I definitely prefer the creamy texture of fresh gouache. We'll see if this grows on me. I mean, I do follow some people that like to use this kind of dry palette, and you can get sort of more texture out of it. And if you want sort of like an opaque, grainy watercolor look for layering with multimedia, that seems to have an interesting character. So we'll see if it grows on me. And for now, it just looks like fun. It's appealing to look at. So I hope I use it a lot because I want to dip in there. It looks like a crayon box. There's not much to say about this painting process. I'm just kind of filling in things, and I should have had a little bit more intention, but I as I was saying, I wasn't really feeling the art thing today, and I was just forcing myself to do something. So with that considered, it is what it is. It's a sketchbook page, you know. It's supposed to be something to, you know, a place to just work things out. And I'm definitely having a time working. After I've played around on the page a bit more, I did pull out some pencil crayons just to like add little details, and I was actually checking to see if I had similar colors to the ones that I had used with the gouache, and for the most part I did, which was surprising and cool. So I hope you enjoyed this little sketchbook page, and maybe it gives you an idea of something you can do in your sketchbook to fill a page, or another, you know, sometimes you just need a prompt to like get you started. So you just look at some textile patterns. You can check my Pinterest if you want. I have a ridiculous amount of pins and folders, so I do have one for prints and one for graphic design, and you'll find a lot of patterns in there. Thanks for watching, And oh, I did want to mention that I painted on the back of another page that I had done previously, and it didn't bleed through, so I'm pretty happy with that. So far this sketchbook is really cool. I'm liking the paper a lot. The only thing that I'd say is, yeah, because it's floppy, it doesn't stay open. So I ended up flipping the page over. And so I think every other page is going to be upside down, which is fine. I don't care. I mean, it's for me, right? So it'll be like you flip the book over and you see the left-hand side of the page as you flip through. And I'm just going to do that because it's, you know, it's annoying to me otherwise with the floppy page. So yeah, that's just the way I'm going to use it, and I think that's fine. So thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please like and subscribe, and I'll see you soon at the next one. In the meantime, keep up your sketchbook, everybody. Bye.